All right, so we're back at the loom and we've got the back heddle threaded and we're going to thread the front heddle. I'm going to start you out with being able to see between the two heddles, and then after I've done a few repeats, we'll move the camera to the front of the loom so you can see what's going on in front. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to take my first bundle. I've tied them in slip knots in case my heddle drops, because if that happens, that's no fun. We all know that. So I keep lots of slip knots in, and after I've done a few repeats on that front heddle, I'm going to do another slip knot too so I don't lose it. So I'm going to undo that slip knot, and I'm going to start with my first bundle of 4 threads. So my first bundle of 4 threads should have 1 in a hole and 3 in a slot. I'm going to take that first one from the hole, that's the outermost thread, and I'm going to put it through this slot in the front, right in front of it, just slightly to the right. So that's now in a slot. See right here. Then I'm going to take the next 3 ends and I'm going to thread them slot, hole, slot. So the first one is going to go into the same slot that the one from the back hole went into. So that front slot now has 2 threads in it. The next one's going to go in the hole to the left. And the next one is going to go to the slot to the left. So now what I have is I've got 2 threads in a slot in the front, then I've got a hole and a slot. I'm going to take my next bundle of 4, and take the one that's in the back hole and put it into the slot that already has 1 end in it. So the same slot that you just put the last thread through. Then I'm going to take those remaining 3 ends and I'm going to thread them slot, hole, slot. You don't really have to worry about what order the threads are coming off the back beam. Everything's going to work out just fine in the end. So I'm going to take the first thread, thread it through the same slot that I put the last one through. So that slot now has 3 ends in it. Take the next end, put it through the hole to the left, and take the next one and put it in the slot to the left. And do the next bundle here. Take the one that's in the hole, thread it to the slot in front that already has 1 end in it. Take the next 3 ends and I'm going to take the first one and thread it through the slot, then the hole, and then the slot. So the easy way to remember it is that you're taking the hole to the slot, and then the 3 next threads are threaded slot, hole, slot. So I've gone from hole to slot. I'm taking the next 3 threads and I'm threading slot, then hole, then slot. I'm just going to tie that in a quick slip knot here, and then I'll move my camera in front so you can see what's happening there. So if we can zoom in on there so we can actually see clearly what's going on. Maybe. Okay, so I put a slip knot here in case my reed falls off. I don't want to lose what I've already done. I'm going to take my bundles of 4. So in the first slot, I've got 2 ends, and then I've got a hole. Now every other slot after that is going to have 3 ends. 1, 2, 3. So the first end is coming from the hole in the back, and then the next 2 are coming from your threads. And then I've got a hole, and then 3 slots, a hole, sorry, not 3 slots, 3 ends in the slot, and then a hole, and 3 ends in a slot and a hole. Now when you get to the very end, you're not going to have 3 ends in that last slot because there are just no more ends to put in there. So your very last slot will have just 1 end in it. So I'll just do it from the front here so you can see again, just a review here. I'm going to take the one from the hole at the back, and it's going to come into the slot, and you can see there's already 1 in that slot. Now it has 2 in that slot. Then I'm going to take my next 3 ends. I'm going to put 1 into that same slot. So now we've got 3 in that slot. So slot, and then hole, and then slot. I'm sorry, my arm gets a little bit in the way there, but hopefully you can see what's going on. We've got there's 3 in the slot, there's 1 in a hole, and then 1 in a slot. I'll just turn this a little bit so we can do it one more time. I'll try to keep my arm out of the way. So there's my bundle of 4. I can raise that up so you can see it better. It's my bundle of 4 coming from the back reed. I'm going to take that first one that's in a hole, put it into the slot, separate those next 3, and I'm going to thread them slot. This is the top one, hole, and slot. And one last time. We're going to go to a slot, and then slot, hole, slot. And that's what we're going to do all the way across the loom. And remember to just keep tying your little slip knots because it's really easy to knock the reeds off when you're doing this, and you don't want to lose all your hard work.